So I was just kind of, I want to talk about my son. I don't know why, but for some reason I just do. I was laying in bed on my Friday night and just thinking about my son, and I don't normally, I don't know, lately anyway, like I don't normally talk about them or post stuff about them on social media. I just don't. Like, I don't know, like maybe I got, what's the word, over, overrun on posting about them or something. I did it a lot when they were younger. And then I just kind of like, I don't know, I just kind of stopped. And I have something else to talk about. Okay, fine. I'll talk about, shit. This was supposed to be about my son. Anyway, I'm going to talk about this other thing, but it kind of really kind of weirded me out. So without getting into specifics, like basically I've really kind of stepped away a bit from social media. I will social media. Sometimes my Aussie accent comes out. Anyway, sorry. Oh shit. Anyway, I know I'm being stupid right now. Anyway, that was just my friend texting me. I'm gonna probably meet up with her tomorrow, but okay, so okay, I gotta talk about it. A couple weeks ago, a friend of mine was like we hung out at the beach together. She brought her dogs. I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm not trying to, but like this was part of my experience, my life, my me, me. Okay, and so, but, and if she sees, I guarantee you, she won't see this. She doesn't. She doesn't like stalk me on YouTube or anything like that. But I'm not going to mention her name anyway. But we went to the beach. She brought her dogs. I brought my kids. It was fun. We had a fun time. Yada yada. She had a friend with her. Like whatever. Like we had a fun time. Like it was great. It was fun, cool. But I go to the beach all the time, and it's not like anything special to me. Like it is special to go to the beach, but like, I mean, the beach, there's something magical about the beach for me. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, there is literally something magical about the beach. But it's nothing unusual to me. Like, it's just like, sort of like, yeah, cool. But I found out a few days later that she was offended that I didn't post anything online about, like she was literally offended. Like, is something wrong? Are you mad at me? Like what? Like, but you didn't post about it. I'm like, honey, I don't post about a lot of things that I do. Like, there's a lot of shit I don't. Okay? Like, okay, Facebook, I've dropped. I literally don't paste, cut and paste, like, no, posts. I literally don't post on Facebook anymore. Like, yeah, sure. Like, I look at it every now and then I go, oh yeah, that's why I didn't want to look at this anymore, and close. And just like, I don't like Facebook anymore. Quite honestly, I have moved on from, I'm not friends with people that I used to be, and mostly that's, I don't know, for various reasons. But I see stuff and it just is not something I'm gravitating towards anymore. And so, but yeah, sure, at various intervals, every few days, I look at Facebook, I look at it, I see notifications, nothing much, and I look at people's, like a few things or whatever. Maybe occasionally I might like something, but it's actually very rare nowadays. And so that's me on social media. Like, to me, YouTube is a little bit different, and so is TikTok, because like I don't know, it's just sort of like okay, for me, social media is about social, like people right? So there's quite a few people I know on Facebook that I'm connected to. Like, know them. They know me. But on Twitter and on TikTok and on YouTube, it's anonymous people. Like, literally, like, nobody I know follows me on those. Well, like, there are, a very few scant people that, like, quote unquote, like, are connected to me on there, but like they don't comment, they don't say anything. I'm cool with that. I'm like, good. You don't want to say anything about me? Great. Excellent. I love that. Don't say anything about me, please. Like, just I don't want people who actually think that they know me in real life to actually say something to me about what I'm saying, because you actually don't really, sorry, but you actually kind of don't really know me. Not many people do. And that's kind of sad, but that's kind of okay too. What was I talking about? My son. Okay. Actually, Jennifer. Oops, I just said her name, but I'm gonna. God, we're meeting up tomorrow. She's changing her plans again. Anyway, I started this talking about my son. For some reason, for whatever reason, I felt the need to talk about it and record it and just note it down, my thoughts and feelings. Okay, deep breath. Okay, okay. I'm already at 9 minutes and I have so much to say about this. Okay. Okay, first thing. I feel like my relationship changed with my son after I came back from my 4-month stay in Australia. And that's nobody's fault. I'll just clarify that. Like, this is not blaming anybody else or anything, but I'm just saying I did that. I stayed in Australia for 4 months. And when I got back, I found that my relationship with my son had drastically changed. And ever since then, I've never been able to get it back to how it was before. And that's my mistake. You know, I thought I was doing the right thing at the time because I thought that I was helping someone who I thought was going to become eventually part of our family. Now, this is not a statement against that person. This is completely separate, but this is just I'm just saying that that's why I, I stayed longer. At the time, I thought I was doing the right thing. Looking back, I can understand why I did it, but was it really the best thing? Well, it happened right before the pandemic, and when he got here, literally the weekend that he got here, all the schools shut down, and basically, like within about a week or two, all the lockdowns started. So that was really hard. I talked to a friend about this today, Tani, and she's such a great friend. She's so nice. But she actually listened to me talk to her about this whole story, and didn't tell me what to think about it. Didn't tell me bad stuff about him, which I did talk to one other friend once, and they said, "Oh, he's just blah. The blah blah blah, all this stuff," and that doesn't help. It's like, okay, but you don't know the full story. You don't know everything. You don't know him. You don't know the full. Anyway, so I digress. So back to my son. I stayed in Australia for 4 months. 4 months away from my kids. Now, I'm not looking at this as a way to get back to the person I was with. I'm honestly looking at the relationship with my son and what I've done that has affected it and it hasn't been the same since then. And I've tested him a couple times. His memory is very sketchy. Unfortunately, before that time period, there's even stuff about like in Pine Mountain Club that he doesn't actually fully remember. Like, I'm like, oh my god, you don't even remember? Like, I've asked him a couple times, like, do you remember the blah blah? And he was like, kind of. Like, even the playground there, like how we went there all the time, and like, do you remember that? And he'd say to me like, yeah, a little bit, sort of. And I'm like, that was only like 3 years ago. But wait a minute, was it? No, not even 3 years ago. That was almost a year and a half ago. And his memory of stuff is a little sketchy. Like, he barely remembers when we lived at the Rotunda house, like the house on Rotunda Road. He barely remembers that place. Like, we'll mention a couple things from there, and he's like, I sort of remember that. Like, maybe. Um, Lots of stuff. He just doesn't remember. And he's 10 now, and I'm like, wow, like, what a shame. But Nadia's memory of her child, like when she was younger, is like crystal clear. Like she remembers stuff from when she was 3, even before then. Like she'll remember stuff um, from when she was 2. I'll like she'll come up with stuff and she'll say like, oh, I remember when blah de blah happened. It was like so long ago, this random memory. Like she'll just remember stuff. And she has what I'd like to call a photographic memory. Her dad has that. Like very smart, very I wish I had that. I mean, I do have a good memory, but I feel like there are certain people who like they can read a book and they can literally like tell you like the page and the paragraph of where something was written and recite it back to you, and you're like, how do you even remember that? Like what? You only saw that one time, like, and you go like what? But so her dad has that kind of memory. Like he knows stuff, but like it's like a photographic memory. Like he'll remember the page number of something that he read or whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay. um, but she's like that. She is very bright, so bright. I mean, like when she was real little, she would I was a stay-at-home mom, and what would we do when we ran out of things to do? We would do flashcards on the ABCs and numbers and letters and things like that. And like by the time she was like 2.5 or something, she was already writing and reading small words. Like she could read cat and like write her name, and she was very bright. I mean, my son is too. He was the same at that age, but I'm just saying. Um, anyway, the reason why I started this is just that sometimes I get concerned about my son and I don't know how to help him. So sometimes he seems a little bit withdrawn, and I don't know if it's just me or like if something is happening with him internally, and I don't want to um uh I don't know what the word is, but like I don't want to make him feel like I'm prying. Um at the same time, if I get concerned about him, I want him to feel like he can talk to me, but I don't know how to make him feel that way. Um, so he's 10. He's young, he's still young. I hope I can help him grow up into a big, strong man who's a an honest citizen who is contributing to society, and he grows up happy and, you know, has a family that he wants, and discovers his purpose in life, and and I don't know, I don't have anyone to share this um, parenting journey with, so I'm just a single mom who wants the best for their kids, and I was talking to a friend today. We were talking about relationships. She was telling me about some stuff that went on with her. She has 3 kids. She's a single mom, and she's even more of a single mom than I am. Like, her kid's dad is not there very much, and she's very, you know, she has it all, like, meaning, like, she has to do everything, and that's a big job. That's a big job when you don't have help with from another. Like, it's so big. It's so big. And when you don't have a partner helping you, and you have like 3 young humans that you have to be their emotional support, and you have to, like, manage their lives, and you have to help them grow up into decent human beings, and you have to, manage their social schedule, and you have to manage their, like, everything. Like, it is such a big job. And I can't believe she's doing it all on her own. Like, that's huge. And anyway, she was telling me about, she recently broke up with her boyfriend, and it was based on the fact that she couldn't see that in the future he could be, like really embrace their family, and actually, like, be a stepdad, and be, you know um that kind of a thing. Actually, uh like, love her kids, like, you know as part of his own, even though he's not like the actual dad, but like sort of still sort of like, love them, and stuff like that. She was looking like 10 years into the future. Like, I can't see you being, you know the the, the stepdad of this family, and like loving them, um even though she really did still love them. And it made me realize, like, yeah, as parents, um uh we have to put our kids first, no matter what our hearts tell us that we want. And it's hard. It's really hard. If I told her, if I didn't have my kids right now, I'd be off in Australia, probably married to the love of my life, and that we'd be having a happy life, and like we'd be totally blissfully happy together. And yeah, I would have moved there, and but I do have my kids, and I do love them very much, and obviously I'm never going to leave them. I'm never going to. And I realized at that moment when I was talking to them, when you're a parent, it's sort of like, especially when you have younger children. My kids are 10 and 12, and they're not older yet. They're not, 16, 18, 20, 21. Like, they're still younger. So as a parent, you have to, well, most parents, let's just say, have to put their kids first. And so that's what I've had to do. I've had to exclude myself from what I want in relation to, uh, you know, what my heart wants. Anyway, I started talking about my son basically um, in preschool. He was bullied, and that's why I took him out of preschool. It wasn't because of anything else, but it was only because I worked at the school. And guess what? He didn't have the words to talk about it with me at that time. He didn't have the words to tell me that other kids, he never told me about it. He never told me, like, he would come home with sand in his hair because other kids would run up to him and put sand in his hair. Just like, he's just like there being himself, and he's just playing, and some kid would just run up to him and like put sand in his hair and be like, ha ha ha, and then run off. And he'd be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you, like, what is this? But if I hadn't have been walking by the preschool, not being seen by anybody, but I would just happen to be walking by seeing this, I would have never known. And I used to see kids run up to him and like scream in his face and then run off. And then other things, like every now and then he would say something, but not everything. And if I hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have seen that. I wouldn't have seen that. And I just, thank God I was actually there for him, seeing all this stuff, him being bullied in preschool. And so I took him out of school and I said, okay, that's it. I'm quitting my job. We're going to homeschool. That's it. Like, no, I talked to his teacher a few times, and somehow it never resolved, even though I talked to them. And I don't know. They just like, oh yeah, it happens, and like, no, you need to put a stop to this and stop letting this happen to my son. Anyway, I get passionate about it. But this is something I want to talk about again in the future, but this is getting long and I need to stop this video. Yay, happy Friday. Anyway, I love my son. I want to help him grow, and obviously this doesn't mean I don't love my daughter. So Nadia, if you ever see this when you're older, don't think it doesn't mean I don't love you. Jesus Christ, God, just, this is just London's moment right now. Like, I love you, and I hope I can help you grow into the best version of yourself. And I love you so much. And sometimes I feel like we don't really connect anymore, and I really hope that improves. I don't really know what to do about it, but I don't connect with my son anymore, and I'm sure that's my fault, but I'll try to do what I can to connect with him and improve the relationship. As I said, it's never been like it was before I left for 4 months in 2019 to 2020, like when I went to Australia for 4 months and then I came back. And anyway, still trying. Okay, bye.